Tammy, you got it fired up?
It's chugging.
Okay. It's too nice a day to be sitting in here.
Hey, Johnny Angel? Is that the Johnny Angel from the Follies last year? It's Johnny Angel. I remember you. Nice to see you, Johnny Angel. That took me a while to get that song out of my head, too, by the way. I was telling Claire, you guys might know Mary Casey. She was one of the, that's my aunt. She was one of the dancers, and she's talking about it now. She's even leaves work. I work with her at Midland Title. And she's like, hey, Neil, I got to go dance tonight, start practicing. So that's all right. Anyways, great job last year, Johnny Angel. All right, are we ready to go? Okay. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. Tonight is June 2nd, 5 o'clock. We're regular Board of Trustees regular meeting. Can I take the roll?
Mr. Genowine?
Here.
Mr. Crandall?
Here.
Mr. Mahoney?
Here. If everyone would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Were there anybody who'd like to make a motion for the approval of the minutes for the regular meeting of May 19th?
I have a revision. Under the open discussion, there's a reference.
Which meeting?
The 19th.
Okay.
First one there. I gave the correct information to Sammy, but it was minutes of a Public Works Cooperative Coalition that the county engineer is trying to put together. I put a copy of the minutes in both of your in baskets.
Good catch.
Yep. So I'll move approval with the correction for the 19th, and I'll move approval, well, let's do them separately. Oh, no, we can combine them. I'll also move approval of May 26th.
Second?
Calling the roll, Mr. Genowine?
Abstaining?
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes. John, any additions or deletions to the agenda tonight?
I have none.
Okay.
And nobody signed in.
Nobody signed in? Okay.
First item is a presentation by the Sylvania Community Services Center on a levy request, and Claire Proctor's here to talk about it.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. For those in the audience that I may not have met, I'm Claire Proctor. I'm the Director of Sylvania Community Services, and we are the managing agency for Sylvania Senior Center. And I'm here tonight to present Sylvania Senior Center's budget information and projected millage needs over the next 5 years. We are requesting to be on the November 3rd ballot, which Sylvania Township has always gone on the ballot on behalf of the Senior Center. Our current 5-year levy is expiring at the end of this year. As you probably know, Ohio Revised Code dictates that senior services be on the ballot every 5 years rather than having a continuing levy. So ours is expiring this year, so what we are requesting is 2016 through 2020. Your Sylvania Senior Center serves over 2,800 senior citizens per year. And we all know that as individuals age, they experience changes that can make their life more challenging. There may be physical limitations for people that are no longer working. There may be isolation issues. Some experience the loss of a spouse or children that no longer live in the area. And our mission is to promote healthy aging. Our programs are designed to address all of these areas. Our offerings help keep seniors healthier longer and keep them engaged in the community. We offer transportation to and from the center and for necessary errands for people that need that service, such as going to the grocery store, the pharmacy, the post office. Our education sessions focus on health issues and also other important topics. Our physical fitness classes help with physical health, while our brain fitness classes and programs help to keep the memory strong. We all know how important that is. Our art classes help to keep the creative juices flowing. A George Washington University study of 300 seniors found that creative activities such as art and writing slow the aging process, resulting in fewer doctor visits and better mental health. Our daily hot lunch and Tuesday evening dinner help with nutritional needs. Many of our recreational offerings help with brain fitness, hand-eye coordination, and motor skills. We also reach out to those seniors in the community that cannot attend the center. We do this through our home maintenance program and also offering phone assistance with the various resources that are available to people in the community. In addition to helping senior citizens, we frequently get calls from family members with questions. It could be out-of-town adult children having concerns about their loved ones or other concerned family members. We have many other offerings that help keep seniors independent and less isolated. That's not only good for the individual, but good for our community. It keeps our seniors healthier longer, less dependent on public health care dollars, and keeps our elder citizens involved. Your program guide, which you all have a copy of, gives you a comprehensive list of all our offerings. So how do we know we're doing the right things and we're doing them well? Well, in striving to be the best that we can, we have become nationally accredited by the National Council on Aging. Our national accreditation is our way of assuring our citizens that we meet and exceed national standards of senior centers. There's only 2% of all senior centers in the United States, and there's about 15,000 senior centers in the United States that have national accreditation, and we are very proud to say that we are part of that 2%. And as long as I'm bragging, I'm also very proud of the excellent community partners that we have, certainly with Sylvania Township, the City of Sylvania, Sylvania Schools, Flower Hospital, Lourdes University, Sylvania Rec, Olander, Kingston of Sylvania, Arbors at Sylvania. We have many community partners. We do some joint programming with some of those partners and give and receive support from each other. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. Those are also highlighted in our annual report, which I believe you have copies of as well. Now I'd like to call attention to the first page in the handout, and it's also on the screen for those in the audience. This is our levy collections history. Our levy was initially passed in the year 2000 for .32 mils, which is about a third of a mil. At that time, that was $300,000. We had a replacement levy 5 years later. At that time, a mill was calculated at $430,963. And you can see from 2010 on to the present that our collections have been declining, which of course everyone that collects public dollars has had that happen, I'm sure, with your fire levies and police levies, that due to declining property values, the collections have decreased. So we are now only collecting 89% of our millage that was passed in 2010 due to those declining property values. Over the years, we have worked on doing our part to cut costs and increase our revenues. Some examples of our cost-saving measures have included not replacing full-time positions with full-time. We went from 7 initially to our present 4 full-time staff members. We have filled these slots with part-time individuals, but some of the cost savings has to do with benefit costs. We were able to do some consolidations with our transportation program so that when our second vehicle was taken out of service a few years ago, we did not replace it. Instead, we have been able to stretch the use of our remaining vehicle to still provide essential transportation services. Also helping to reduce costs, we have wonderful volunteers, many of whom are here in the audience, that help in our office. They help with special events. They do many other tasks that help at reducing costs. As I mentioned earlier, we have some great partnerships. Some of our community partners help sponsor events. They sponsor meals at the senior center, which helps reduce our costs. Flower Hospital provides a nutritionist that offers an educational series for our participants. We also have professional services at no cost to the seniors, such as speaking with a pharmacist, blood pressure checks, blood sugar checks, and even some in-kind legal services through our community partners. Our revenue enhancement measures have included, we have been working to grow our foundation fundraising program, soliciting donations from individuals and businesses. We also have a very active participant council at the senior center, a group of our own senior participants that does fundraising for the center each year, many of whom are also in the audience today, in order to help with costs and also provide enhancements for the senior center. Last year, along with a private donor, they funded handicapped accessible electric door openers on our restrooms and on our office door at the center. So now I'd like to direct you to the budget page, which would be the next page, Scott. The budget you have before you includes maintaining current programs and staffing levels, no increases. We have built-in inflation for expenses across the 5 years. In order to maintain our current programs, we're asking for a renewal of a .32 mils, that is 1/3 of a mil, and an additional .10, that is to say an additional 1/10 of a mil. This would get us to a break-even budget across the 5-year time span. This request will cost the taxpayer $13.30 a year on $100,000 of home value. Based on a Sylvania Township value average, a homeowner would pay $26 annually for this levy. We recently had a survey done by an independent research firm that showed about 2/3 had a favorable response to our proposed levy, with increased millage, saying either the center is important and necessary or good for Sylvania as reasons that someone might vote for the levy. The budget you have before you also shows our 4 main revenue streams. Program income and other, that consists of some of our participants, they do pay for certain services at the senior center, so they are contributing as well to certain classes and programs. Our grants and donations line are donations that are coming in to the center, as well as some smaller grants that we get each year. And the third line is our Area Office on Aging grant. That consists of federal, state, and local Lucas County dollars that are coming back to our Sylvania community. These 3 revenue streams make up 25% of the total revenue in the budget, helping to offset our request for public financial support. Our levy requests of .32 mils renewal plus a .10 increase represents 75% of the total revenues. Moving on to the expenses portion of the budget, we have built-in inflation for expenses across the 5 years. Our expenses are listed by category, with the greatest percentage towards salaries and benefits, which is typical for most social services agencies. Next is our occupancy costs, such as utilities, building supplies, and maintenance costs. On the second to the last line of the expenses, you'll see building refurbishing set-aside amount. This represents the amount we save each year for the items that we are responsible for refurbishing, such as painting, carpeting, parking lot repair, heating and cooling equipment replacement, and major maintenance items. So to recap, this request will cost the taxpayer $13.30 a year on $100,000 of home value. This will generate $500,000 per year for the center, which you can see at the end of the page, that's shaded in green. And I did get those figures from our county auditor. I understand you have to get an official certification from the auditor, but those are where those figures came from. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
I got a couple.
Yes.
Like your transportation and home maintenance programs, do they go outside of our community?
No, they do not.
They're strictly... So if I
Sylvania.
called from Toledo, I couldn't get the bus to come pick you up?
Correct.
Okay.
It's only within the district.
And do you track, out of the 2,800 seniors that use your services, how many are Sylvania residents?
We do.
And what
And-
percentage is that?
That's about 65%. For those folks that are not residents of the Sylvania area, we do ask all our members to become Booster Club members, which is like their donation to the center. And we ask that non-residents pay a higher portion when they become Booster Club members, which is similar then to what a Sylvania person would pay, towards their property taxes.
Well, keep up the good work. I know it's a great facility there, and you guys do a good job. I just, occasionally you hear the comments from the public that, you go there and the majority of the people aren't from our community. And again, if that's the case, I mean, they're free to use it, but I hope we do counter that with, putting a financial burden or tax on them as a fee or booster member, so I'm glad.
Right, and it's certainly not the majority, there are.
It's close.
And it is such a nice facility. You can see why people would be attracted to come. And because of the federal and the Lucas County dollars that we get, we have to keep our doors open to any senior regardless of their residency, but we are very cognizant of the fact that Sylvania taxpayers pay for the facility and, we have their support through the levy. So we do make every attempt that we can to solicit additional donations from those that do not reside in the district.
I'll offer resolution.
There's
Is this,
No,
we're going
okay.
to vote on this? or-
No, this was just an informational.
We're waiting.
Next,
Okay, from
next
the auditor.
meeting, next meeting, we'll have a resolution asking the auditor for a certificate of the estimated dollars. Once we get that back, and I plan on getting that back soon, the meeting after that is when we will ask to vote on the resolution for entry on the ballot.
If I might just close with a couple other comments. If you think of any additional questions before the next public meeting, please shoot me an email or give me a call. I included my business card with your information. And if any of you would like a tour of the center, I'd be happy to be your personal tour guide. Seeing our programs in action helps tell our great story. Thank you for your time tonight.
Well done. Thank you, Claire.
Thank you, Claire.
Hey, John, you guys are more than happy to stay here for the rest of the meeting if you'd like. Or this is your chance to go. And on the way out, Dom and Roe can sing a song for us. John, what do you got? You sang the Phantom last year at the Follies, right?
And I brought it up because September 16th through the 19th is this year's.
Yep, I'm there.
Tickets early because we have a marketing plan.
Yeah.
For September. Thank you.
You're welcome, buddy. We'll see you.
Thanks, Claire.
Thanks for coming in, everybody. Appreciate your effort.
We also,
See you, John Angel. All right, thank you.
we also, copy the resolution.
See you, Mark. Thank you all. Thank you. Appreciate your good work, Heather.
Next up is the zoning, and Daryl has one resolution for you.
See you, Mark.
Good evening. Just have one resolution, it's 15062, authorization to abate those following four properties for high grass.
I'll offer resolution 15-062, authorized to abatement the properties listed below.
Second? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Second.
Calling the roll, Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Darrell.
Next up is our road service department, and they have a monthly report and then two resolutions.
Good evening. You should have the May's monthly report for the road department. Some pertinent activity We did hire a new utility worker, Kevin Howard. That brought us up to our current strength of 7 utility workers. We have started some of the infrastructure repairs. The construction season has started. Crack sealing is going out. Curb repairs in 2 major locations have started in the St. James region and the North Sylvania Met area. We're continuing our landscape and lawn maintenance of certain facilities and highway roadside mowing. We have completed basically inspections of the roads of the sinkholes and completed all our winter repairs that are not slated for other total resurfacing projects. We did receive our backhoe. A brand new backhoe came in. It's a John Deere 410K. That increases the backhoes to 2, and we did trade in the other one, so we did get a good trade-in value for that, and they also took in some miscellaneous items for us on the trade-in. We did receive the chassis for truck number 5. It's a replacement for the existing truck 5. It's an F550. We're awaiting the service body for that before that vehicle goes on to Gov Deals or goes up for sale. I have had some interest expressed by the schools in that item as well. Some of the ongoing projects we were conducting are our traffic sign upgrades. We've completed about 1/3 of the township. That is back from a grant received from Lucas County and ODOT for that. We are doing ADA and curb upgrades at the same time we're doing the sidewalk upgrades. Those locations are determined by the resurfacing projects and other major projects that are conducted in the vicinities of those upgrades. We are conducting our street sweeping as well. We're 2/3 of the way through our first rotation through the township, and the service department is conducting ASC certifications. 3 of the mechanics are complete with 1 to go, and those are a self-study certification that they go on, take the testing. They have also replaced the engine in 25, police number 25, and did major repairs on the sweeper to keep that in service. On page 2, you'll see some of the major projects that have started and some costs associated with those. As the month goes on and the resolutions pass, you'll see more of these major construction projects start. Any questions?
Looks good.
Okay. I have 3 resolutions for you. Resolution 15065, this is to advertise for bid for the 2015 Cobblestone Subdivision Resurfacing Project.
I'll make a motion, I'll offer Resolution 15065, advertise 2015 Cobblestone Resurfacing Project.
Second.
Calling the roll, Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Thank you. Second resolution would be 15066. This is to advertise for bid for the Sylvania Township Ohio Public Works Commission Resurfacing Project.
I'll offer Resolution 15066, authorization to advertise for OPWC resurfacing project.
Second?
Calling the roll, Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Thank you. The final resolution, 15-067, this is to advertise for bid for the 2015 household pickup.
I'll offer Resolution 15-067, authorized to advertise for 2015 household pickup.
Second.
Calling the roll, Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes. Excuse me, yes.
Thank you. Any questions on any of those items?
Thank you.
How you work?
Chief Kowalski's here, and I just wanted him to, as you know, there was a tragedy in the township today, and Chief will just give you a brief statement on it.
Good evening. This morning, about 10:06 a.m., we had a a house fire in the city of Sylvania. Back off of, can't even think of the name this morning, the covered bridge. Sleepy Hollow, thank you. Back off of Sleepy Hollow. Crews arrived on scene. They had heavy smoke conditions showing. They forced entry into the building and made a search. They went to the second floor, found one victim on the second floor, extricated her very quickly, started advanced life support on scene. Were not able to get her revived and continued their supports on the way to the hospital, and she succumbed to her to the smoke inhalation upon arrival at the hospital. I called in the State Fire Marshal's office. We have our investigators as well as an investigator from the township investigating, and I was hoping to have a text message from Deputy Chief Ram as what their findings were, but fire started on the second floor in the back bedroom where the young lady resided. She was about 30 years of age. No injuries to any crews. We did have departments from Springfield, Toledo, and Richfield assist us during this event.
Thank you. Chief Bowman, do you have anything? Do you have anything for Chief Bowman? Next up is Administrator, and my first resolution is 15063. It's appointment of a trustee as a member to the Sylvania Community Service Center, who was just here. Their bylaws, about 6 weeks ago, we agreed to change their bylaws along with the City of Sylvania, and I think the rec and school districts, where before all 3 trustees were members of the board there. Their bylaws have changed, where now it's just 1 trustee, 1 city council person, 1 school rep. So it's a smaller board for them. But now, since only 1 trustee is going to be representing them, we have to pass a resolution appointing a trustee to that position. It is an indefinite appointment until another trustee wants to do it, or there's no term. And what I'm saying is there's no term on this. So it's a discussion among yourselves.
There's only one member that kind of fits in that age category. The gray hair may be misleading on top here, but I still have a few years.
Yeah, I'll do it. That's okay.
I think you'd be great at it, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll offer resolution 15063 to appoint trustee as member of the Sylvania Community Services Center.
John Crandall.
John Crandall.
Second.
Calling the roll, Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Can I abstain? No, yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
My next item is, once again, a request for a liquor permit transfer. This is a transfer at 7436 West Bancroft Street. It's at King and Bancroft where that family video store is. Right next to it is a Sean's Irish Tavern. This is a new owner, is buying it from the other owner. And I have letters from the police and fire department with no objections to the transfer. Once again, no action needs to be taken if it's okay with you for the transfer. All right, the next item is the fiscal officer, and I'll turn it over to Scott.
We've got 2 resolutions today. The first one is to appropriate money from the uncommon balance and to do some construction to make room to bring the community affairs officers over from Mayberry into the spot.
So we are pulling out of Mayberry?
Yes.
Okay. I'll offer resolution 15-064, appropriation from unencumbered balance.
Second?
Calling the roll, Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Next resolution. This is a transfer appropriations, 3 line items. We had expenditures with insufficient budget available, but we were able to cover it, moving money from other line items. General fund, we're going to lose money from state examiners' charges to contracts. In the road, we're going to lose 9,000 into the vehicle maintenance repair item, and police department, we want to move money into the water sewer line item.
The one for the state examiners, well,
Well, they're just not, they're not doing an audit this year, they're gonna come in 2016 and do a 2-year audit. So
Okay.
there's money available in that line item.
Okay.
We're just gonna move that over, cover, additional applications with the pay-car system that we want to contract out.
Yeah. And the, is that what it costs for our audits, $3,900?
That's what's in the budget, right? When they do the 2-year audit, no, it's more than that.
Okay.
But since they're not doing one this year, that money is not
Freed up.
necessary.
Okay. I'll offer Resolution 15-068, transfer of appropriations.
Second?
On the vote, Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Nobody signed in for open discussion on the agenda?
Anything else for the good of the cause here? I'd like to adjourn the meeting at 5:31.
Second.
On the vote, Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes. Thank you, everybody.